Good evening. My name is Peter Tatara. I'm the founder of Anime NYC and the director of film, culture, and entertainment here at Japan Society. I'm honored to welcome you all to tonight, the very first American Manga Awards. This is a special event put together by Anime NYC and Japan Society. But what is it? What are you here for tonight? Hopefully, this is the start of a tradition. This is an award ceremony to honor the North American manga industry, curated and created by the industry itself. This is not a popularity contest voted on by fans. This is an evening to celebrate the manga industry voted on by your peers. Tonight's event is the result of over 6 months of work from Anime NYC and Japan Society, led by manga industry veteran Debe Yoki. Anime NYC begins tomorrow, but we're not in the Javits tonight. So where are we? If you've never been to Japan Society before, welcome. This is a 117-year-old nonprofit focused on bringing the US and Japan closer together. It is a hallowed space and a historic stage. Right here on this stage, we have welcomed US presidents. Right here on this stage, we have welcomed Japanese prime ministers. Right here on this stage, we have welcomed living national treasures and Nobel Prize winners. And tonight, this very same stage welcomes you. You're all an important part of bringing the US and Japan closer together. Japan's popular arts, with manga as part of the vanguard, has brought generations closer to Japan. You all do something deeply significant, powerful, and good. And we are honored for all of you to be here with us tonight. To captain tonight, I have the great honor of welcoming one of the foremost names in localization and translation. He is a writer, author, TV personality, and localizer, and he has spent his whole life bringing the US and Japan closer together. And he's come all the way from Tokyo to be with all of you today. So please, a massive round of applause to Matt Alt.
Wow, what an absolute honor to be here on such a historic stage for such a historic occasion, just steps away from the United Nations. Thank you very much for having me here tonight. You're all part of the manga business. And as Peter said, you're all doing very meaningful work. The books that you create, they're more than just illustrated entertainment or comic books. They build bridges between individuals and countries and cultures all over the world. But before we celebrate you, I'm excited to welcome a special guest speaker who has himself built tremendous bridges between the United States and Japan. Aki Bright is a Japanese illustrator and manga creator whose work is beloved around Japan and increasingly in the United States as well. He's been a guest of honor at Anime Expo and Anime NYC. He's drawn murals for Kinokuniya and Crunchyroll. He's created art for Netflix, DC Comics, BMW, Meta, and McDonald's. McDonald's recent WcDonald's campaign, which transformed its packaging with anime-inspired art, was a collaboration with Aki and featured his artwork in stores in the US and all over the planet. And now Aki's first solo gallery show in New York City debuts tonight here at the Japan Society, following the Manga Awards. Please head upstairs to be the very first on the planet to see Aki Bright Studio Infinity. Aki has achieved something that something few Japanese creators have. But rather than me going on and on about his works, I'd rather Aki himself talk about the bridges he's built and the cross-cultural connections that he's fostered. Please join me in giving a warm round of applause for Mr. Aki Bright.
Nice to meet you. My name is Aki Bright. じゃあここから日本語で
I'll be speaking
ここから日本語
in
で
Japanese now.
はい。まず最初に今回アメリカンマンガアワードっていうのが始まったということで関係者の皆様本当におめでとうございます。
So first of all, congratulations to the beginning of this wonderful American Manga Awards.
でこの漫画というワードがというかコミックでもなくてその漫画というもうジャンルがこれだけアメリカの人たちに愛されてて、僕はアメリカで活動する身としては本当すごく日本人としても誇らしいしアメリカの人がこれだけ漫画を愛してくれてるっていうことに対してもう本当に僕日本代表じゃないですけど日本を代表して本当にありがとうございますとお伝えしたいです。
So this term, manga, it's not comics, it's manga, and this genre was established in this country firmly, and people love this genre now. So not that I'm representing the whole country of Japan, but on behalf of Japan, thank you so much for loving manga so much.
はい。でこの漫画っていうものが本当にすごく世界中で愛されるきっかけになったっていうのは、僕自身がこの2021年にBMW で漫画を作りたいっていうのをお話をいただいてから、BMW と漫画を作って、それから何年か経って皆さんご存知だと思うんですけど、今年ワクドナルドっていうマクドナルドで漫画のバック漫画を作らせていただいて、それで本当にすごく世界中の人からそう良かったよって言ってもらえるようになって、僕としてはすごくハッピーなプロジェクトだったんですけど、はい、はい。
Yeah, so when it comes to manga, in 2021 I was offered by BMW to create a manga with them, so in collaboration with them. And a few years later, McDonald's offered me a project, a collaboration to do McDonald's, and that was I received a whole lot of positive feedback from all over the world. So it became a really happy project for me.
でここに漫画のこと好きな方ってすごくまだこれからどんどんアメリカでまだ漫画読んだことない人がたくさんいて、その人たちにも僕たちは漫画を読んでもらえるように活動していこうって日々考えています。
So I'm sure that there are still a lot of people in this country who has never read manga before. So I'm working hard every day to spread this culture.
でもう本当に漫画っていうのはすごい素晴らしくて、もう本当賞をもらう漫画以外、アニメになる漫画以外にもたくさん日本にはいい漫画があって、で今はもう漫画を描くのは日本人だけじゃなくてもうアメリカの人もういろんな人が描いててそれぐらい素晴らしい漫画がすごくたくさんあるので、これをきっかけにそういう漫画もぜひいろいろ探して読んでいただきたいなっていうふうに思います。
So, manga is just wonderful, and not just the manga that receives award or become animation. There are so many wonderful manga out there, and it's not just Japanese manga authors. There's American manga authors, and there's international artists who create manga now. So, please look forward to these amazing works.
あと最後にちょっと宣伝一つだけしていいですか？
May I do a little bit of promotion here?
いや今日2階のバースペースで僕の書いた漫画とそのグラフィックノベルといろんなパターンの作品がスケッチが展示されてたり実際の漫画も展示されたりするんですけどそれを見てもらうとすごく漫画とグラフィックノベルの違いと共通点とか結構いろんなことが見つかると思うので皆さんぜひ今日バースペースに特別にいろいろ展示してるのでよかったら見てくださいという宣伝でした。
So if you go upstairs in the bar space, then the comparison of my manga versus graphic novels, and you can sort of see the differences and similarities of my work depending on which medium I use. So if you happen to see my work in the bar space, please look forward to it.
はい、じゃあ皆さんこの後もぜひアワードを楽しんでください。ありがとうございました。
Please
Thank you.
continue
Thank you
to
very much.
enjoy the rest of the awards. Thank you.
What a great artist. So this is the first ever American Manga Awards. It's the first awards program that is solely focused on celebrating the very best manga published in English in the North American market over the past 12 months, recognizing manga creators and publishers, as well as the professionals who helped bring these wonderful stories to English language readers, editors, translators, letterers, and publication designers. Over 6 months of work went into tonight, and these awards are the culmination of the efforts of publishers across North America and over 300 voting members of the manga publishing industry. So I'm very, very excited to kick it off and officially begin. Before that, I'd like to quickly thank our sponsors for helping to make this evening possible. Viz Media, Scholastic Graphics, Hoopla, Saturday AM, and we can't forget our beverage sponsors, Sapporo Stone Brewing and Brooklyn Kura. We'd also like to thank the American Manga Awards Committee, MK Goodwin, Left Field Media's Vice President of Anime and Content, and Lance Heiskill, their Manager of Guests and Programming. They recruited manga expert Deb Aoki to help develop this awards program, along with, way to go, Deb, along with publishing industry expert Kuo Yu Lang of Ku Worldwide. With the support, give him all the love, give him all the love. And with the support of Peter Tatara from Japan Society, the committee was able to pull together this very, very special event for you tonight. So please, join me in a round of applause for the American Manga Awards Committee. You may have noticed that we're actually filming this tonight, and the video of the ceremony will be posted on the Anime NYC YouTube channel and its associated social media accounts. If you'd like to share your photos and reactions to tonight's festivities on social media, please tag us at Manga Awards USA on X/Twitter, or whatever it's calling itself recently, and Instagram, and add these hashtags. Hashtag Manga Awards 2024. I never know how to pronounce that. Is it hashtag or is it pound sign? Pound sign. Sorry, I've been living in Japan the last 20 years. We don't use these things. Pound sign Manga Awards 2024 and the hashtag ANYC 2024. So, the American Manga Awards presented tonight consists of 3 groups. The first are the professional awards, which recognize the translators, the letterers, designers, and editors who help publish manga in English in North America. Then there are the manga awards, which honor the year's best manga stories and manga creators. And then there's the Hall of Fame Award, which recognizes lifetime achievement in manga publishing. The Hall of Fame Award was selected by the American Manga Awards Committee. And the nominees for the Manga Professional Award categories were selected by judges with professional expertise in Japanese to English translation, comics lettering, and publication design. The nominees for the manga categories were selected by a group of 5 judges who read a lot, and I mean a lot, of manga, including journalists, librarians, and online influencers. The way this worked was that publishers were invited to submit up to 3 works per category for consideration. The book submitted must have had at least 1 volume published in English between August 1, 2023 and July 31st, 2024. For the best translation and lettering categories, publishers were also asked to submit both pages from English and Japanese so that the judges could compare them. For best publication design, publishers sent printed copies of the books and/or box sets to the publication design judges. After the nominations were announced, comics publishing professionals, booksellers, librarians, and comics scholars were invited to register to vote for the winners in our categories. So tonight's winners are the result of the votes cast by many of you here in the audience today. So thank you for voting. And now, without further ado, allow me to get started with the first group of awards, the Manga Professional Awards. Best Publication Design, Best Lettering, and the one closest to my heart, Best Translation. Our first award tonight is for Best Publication Design. And to give it out, I am privileged to welcome to the stage Shigekazu Watanabe. It's all yours.
Yeah, thank you. Thank you all. Choosing the 5 nominees for the Best Publication Design was a tough job, but thankfully I didn't have to do it alone. I worked together with Sasha Head, a graphic designer and publication designer who has done award-winning work in comic book publishing and video games for companies like Image Comics and Naughty Dog LLC. As a production artist, Sasha guided countless books off to press and design Image Plus, the winner of the 2016 Magazine of the Year, Diamond Game Award, and worked on Image Comics series, including Time Before Time and Decorum. Sasha couldn't be here tonight, but I want to share her comments on choosing the nominees for the Best Publication Design. I was and I'm so incredibly thrilled and honored to participate as a judge for the publication design award within the American Manga Awards. As a graphic designer and general print media enthusiast, I often do not look just for print quality, but overall understanding of how design can further elevate an entire story, not just in the money put into this production value, but as a tailored container for all of the parts therein. In other words, a book can be printed on the cheapest paper available, but with a strong design voice that is squarely in line with its contents. It will outshine an expensive hardcover without its own special identity any day of the week in my eyes. This is, to me, the heart of publication design, understanding your parameters, limits, and contents, and creating something memorable anyway. It was so severely difficult to choose for our list simply because I would say the vast majority had a strong handle on everything I look for in my own collections. Thank you. The Best Publication Design Award spotlight the best print and digital design work in adapting or creating new covers, title lettering, logos, box sets, and more for a new or continuing manga series or one-shot published between August 1st, 2023 and July 30th, 2024. The nominees are Phil Balsaman, Design for Initial D Omnibus by Shuichi Shigeno, 講談社 Editor Maggie Lee. Nikki Lim cover design, and Karis Page lettering and interior design for My Lesbian Experience with Loneliness Special Edition by Nagata Kabi. Seven Seas Entertainment. Editor Jen Gruningen. Translation Jocelyn Allen. Adam Grano, Design for My Name is Shingo by Kazuo Umez with media, editor Joel Enoff. Nikki Lim and Sandy Grayson, box set design for Orange Complete Box Set by Ichigo Takano, Seven Seas Entertainment, editor Shannon Fay. Andrea Miller, cover design for Tokyo Aliens by Naoe, Square Enix Manga and Books, editor Sarah Tangni. And the winner is Adam Grano, Design for My Name is Shingo by Kazuo Umezu, publishing by Viz Media, editor Joel. Congratulations. Thank you.
Thank you. Heavy. I just have a few thank yous to Joel, the editor, for trusting my vision for the design of this series, to Will, our production director, for helping make that vision a reality, and to Hope for approving the printing costs, which is important. And of course, thanks to Umez Sensei for creating such a simultaneously creepy yet charming work. It's an honor to design his books and to receive this award. Thank you.
Okay. Yeah. Okay. We also have a message from Kazuo Umezu. I worked very hard on the series, and I think my hard work must have been conveyed to Adam as well. I'm sure that's true. That's why Adam is so great. Yeah, thank you.
Wow, how great is it that Umezu Kazuo, living legend, won an award here today? That is so great. Good job, Adam. So our next category is no less important. It is Best Lettering. And to announce the nominees, and the winner is Sarah Lindsley. Sarah? I didn't even get to finish before you came up, so I'm gonna talk all about you. Sarah, is it odd to hear yourself talked about right when you're standing next to someone talking about you like this?
It's horrifying.
Excellent, excellent. I love to hear it. So Sarah is a manga letterer with 10 years of experience across the industry. She creates free fonts and educational resources for all levels of manga letterers. She works as a software engineer at Viz Media and lives in New York City with her wife and her dog. So, all up to you.
Thank you so much. Howdy, folks. Manga letterers are not only responsible for adapting the translator's words onto the page, we are also responsible for adapting the original artist's lettering for an English language audience. We make sure that readers can hear the shift in a love interest's voice, and we make sure that the reader can hear when a kaiju is crashing through a building. A manga letterer's gift is sound through art. A couple years ago, myself and some of my lettering friends realized that the only way we were going to win an award in manga lettering is if we made one up ourselves. And so the Screen Tonys were born. The Screen Tonys, for people who don't know, are community-submitted certificates that anybody can win, and somebody has actually awarded themselves an award. Deb has won an award. Screen Tonys include most fonts, really cool hair, and absolute sound effects and redraw powerhouse. Running the Screen Tonys for the last 3 years and helping my colleagues celebrate each other in the most silly way possible has been a joy. I had no idea when the day would come that I'd get to see one of them win a real award for all of their hard work. And with that being said, it's my great honor to present the nominees for Best Lettering. Our nominating judges for Best Lettering category are Nate Picos and Tom Orzechowski. Nate Picos is a comics lettering pro, graphic designer, and the founder of the Blambot Font Foundry. He also wrote The Essential Guide to Comic Book Lettering, which is really good. You guys should buy it. Tom Orzechowski is an award-winning comics and manga lettering pro who has worked on The Uncanny X-Men for Marvel Comics and manga series like Nausicaa of the Valley of the Wind with Studio Proteus for Viz Media. Both Tom and Nate are not able to be here tonight, but they wanted to share a few words with you about being nominating judges. As an ancestral letterer of manga myself, from Nausicaa Viz in 1998 to Ghost in the Shell Dark Horse 2007, I was particularly interested in seeing how well this cross-cultural work is being done lately. As I looked through the submissions, I just asked myself, would I hire this person? Is there fun and excitement here that matches the originals? I had to be plenty picky to narrow the field. My deepest respect to all the entrants, though, for bringing so much passion to the craft. Nate Picos. The sheer amount of touch-up work expected of English translators of manga is deeply underappreciated, and their ability to seamlessly redesign new sound effects based on the originals is no small feat. I was looking for the letterer's ability to subtly work hand-in-hand with the art within these submissions in order to find the best of the best. Also, Nate helped design the American Manga Awards logo, which includes Blambot fonts, Home Planet, and Thunderclap. Thank you, Nate. Thank you, Nate, for helping to create the visual identity for the American Manga Awards. The Best Lettering Award recognizes creative excellence in manga lettering in a new or continuing manga series or one-shot. And the nominees are Tomoko Saito, lettering and retouch for Blade of the Immortal, Deluxe Edition Volume 10 by Hiroaki Samura from Dark Horse with editors Philip R. Simon and Judy Koo. Phil Christie, lettering and retouch for Search and Destroy Volume 1 by Atsushi Kaneko, based on Dororo by Osamu Tezuka. MSX, never said that out loud, Manga-splaining Extra and Fantagraphics. Editors were Christopher Woodrow Butcher and Eric Reynolds. Vadim K., lettering for They'll Make a Man Out of You by Shiwasu no Okina, J18 Publishing, editors Dave Adams and David Goldberg. Liz Blakesley, who's in attendance tonight, lettering for Witch Hat Atelier by Kamome Shirahama from Kodansha USA, editor Haruko Hashimoto. And Rebecca Shi, lettering for Tokyo Interstellar Immigration Volume 3 by Mado Guchimoto from Vast Visual with editors Dave Adams and David Goldberg. And the winner is Liz Blakesley.
Thank you all so much. I am just really excited about these awards. I've been lettering for 15 years this year, and I've come to get to know, be part of the community of letterers, translators, editors, proofreaders, designers, and it's just really wonderful to be able to celebrate my peers and everyone, and to just be so thrilled for how much manga has grown in the US and abroad, and how much we can value the quality and the artistry that the artists themselves put into this work. And I just hope that by my work I can respect their vision and bring that to the readers who love their work as well. So thank you all.
Excellent. Well, Lindsley, don't leave us hanging. What's your dog's name? Tiki. What a great name. Oh, excellent. I love that name. I could use a tiki drink right about now myself. Oh, it's my favorite category. Our next category is best. They're all equal categories, let me just say. It just happens to be my personal favorite. Our next category is, as you can see, best translation. And to introduce it, I look forward to welcoming Hiroko Yoda. Hiroko is an author, a translator, and a content creator. Her books include Yokai Attack, the Japanese Monster Survival Guide, and its sequels, and the upcoming 8 Million Ways to Happiness. Oh, but there's more. Born and raised in Tokyo, she was educated in places as varied as rural Indiana, Washington, D.C., and the Middle East. She is certified by the Japanese Association of Shinto Shrines as a Shinto cultural historian, and also is certified as a kimono fitter and consultant. In 1999, she co-founded the localization company Alt Japan, together with me, and full disclosure, her husband. She is my wife and partner, so please give a warm round of applause to Hiroko Yoda.
Hi, everyone. I'm Hiroko Yoda. I am the CEO of Alt Japan Co. Limited, which is Tokyo-based localization company. I've spent last 25 years localizing many Japanese entertainment products, including games and many manga. So, I'm so honored to present the award for the best translation category. Translators play a critical role in bringing Japanese manga to readers all over the world. But we often work in shadows. So this is a great opportunity to recognize the hard work of translators everywhere. There were 3 factors that I paid close attention to when judging. 1 is the complexity of the original content. 2 is capturing cultural nuances. And 3 is capturing of unique voices, in other words, characterization. All of the candidate titles were submitted by the publishers, and we had no personal information about the translators, whether names, gender, age, or nationality. It was highly competitive. Overall, everyone did a wonderful job. Now, I'd like to announce 5 nominees for the American Manga Award for Best Translations. Nominees are, so nervous. I jumped the gun. Okay. Stephen Paul, translator of Akane Banashi, by Yuki Suenaga and Takamasa Moe. Published by Viz Media, edited by Ray First. John Neal, translator of Bocchi the Rock by Aki Hamaji. Published by Yen Press, edited by Thomas McAllister. David Evelyn, translator of Dorukara by Kazuyoshi Ishii, Hanamura, and Kei Ryuzoji. Published by J Novel Club, edited by Zubonjin. Kevin Steinbach, translator of Isak by Shinji Makari and Double S. Published by Kodansha, edited by Sage Einarsson. Stephen Kohler, translator of Witch Hat Atelier by Kamome Shirahama. Published by Kodansha, edited by Haruko Hashimoto. Now I can open it. Okay, this is exciting. Stephen Kohler, congratulations.
Hi, I'm Johnny Oloya. I'm the first editor for the series. Stephen Kohler couldn't be here tonight, so I'm accepting on his behalf. And what an honor. I mean, first of all, to the author Kamome Shirahama for such a great work that was magic in so many different ways, and for Stephen, who when I first edited him was just a dream to edit, and he does such a great job with this series. And really has a flow and poetry in his work that I've just never experienced before. And so that was really wonderful. And then also to Haruko, who took over the series when I stopped working on this series, and is one of the best editors I know, and she deserves this award too, just putting that extra bit of polish on this already wonderful translation. This is just so amazing to be able to have this kind of award for translators as a translator myself, and yeah, I'm just so happy to be here for this. So thank you for everyone who made this happen, including everyone who voted for Witch Hat.
Congratulations. Yeah, that was a tough one to judge. Everybody did such a great job. But now, we'd like to pause for a moment for a very special award. While many look to manga's explosive growth over the past few years, we've only come to this point where we are because of decades and decades of work leading up to now. So, as part of this year's inaugural awards, we're honored to recognize the first individual to enter the American Manga Awards Publishing Hall of Fame. This is a Lifetime Achievement Award for an individual who has made significant contributions to manga's introduction, growth, and creative influence in North America. And really, truly, there is no one more fitting for this first honor than Frederick L. Schott. Great shot. Fred, I hope you don't mind if I call you Fred. Fred is a author of numerous nonfiction books on the convergence of Japanese and North American cultures. He's written about technology, history, and religion, but he's especially known for his books on manga and his manga translations. When it comes to publishing manga in English, there's a before and an after where everything changed. That inflection point is Fred's 1983 book, Manga Manga, The World of Japanese Comics. He harnessed his passion, his personal connections, and his hands-on experience to paint a vivid picture of the manga industry and its wild creators, telling the story of a vibrant medium never before told in the English language. I personally found a copy of this in my junior high school library, and it was an unbelievably eye-opening, mind-blowing experience to learn about these comic books that existed so far away from the ones that I knew growing up as a kid. In an era of on-demand content, streaming anime and manga apps, it can be difficult for young fans and even young industry insiders to realize how obscure manga were in English before Fred's book came out. I hear he struggled with his editor as to whether it was even appropriate to include a word as unknown as manga on the cover. It was like a bolt out of the blue when this book arrived in 1983. The only frustration was how little was available in English at the time. I really and truly envy young readers of today who have their pick of favorites on demand through specialty apps. Fred's book made that possible. In a very real way, all of us here are because of him. It was like a let there be light moment for the medium of manga and translation, opening eyes, expanding hearts, and paving the way for an era where everyone might read manga, not just the Japanese audiences they were originally made for. That's the era that we're all living in today, and that's the era that all of us here, as industry insiders, readers, are continuing to support now. And it's thanks in part to Fred's pioneering work, making the world understand how powerful of a medium manga are. Fred began seriously reading manga in 1970 while a student at the University of Tokyo with some similar-minded friends. In 1977, he began translating manga. Wow, this picture just blows me away. Fred also began a lifelong friendship with the man who the Japanese know as the god of manga, Osamu Tezuka, who also incidentally coined the word anime. Fred accompanied Tezuka on some of his trips abroad, including this meeting with legendary Disney animator Ward Kimball. This scene is also depicted in the Osamu Tezuka story, a manga biography published by Stonebridge Press that was drawn by one of Tezuka's former assistants, Toshio Ban, and coincidentally, or perhaps not so, translated by Fred too. The difficulty of getting manga published in English at that time led him to write the 1983 book, the first about manga in English, Manga Manga, The World of Japanese Comics, published by Kodansha. It's still in print today and read widely by both fans and scholars. Manga Manga, the world. Great. I hope I leave pictures like this behind someday. It introduced readers and comics fans worldwide to a vibrant new visual culture. He followed it up with two other influential works about manga and Japanese pop culture, the Astro Boy essays and Dreamland Japan, both published by Stonebridge Press. Fred has also written many articles about manga that have helped fans and scholars alike understand the world of Japanese manga and Japanese manga creators. It goes without saying that he's also an accomplished manga translator who's translated legendary works by the likes of Osamu Tezuka and Naoki Urasawa. He's also translated manga by Ryoko Ikeda, Leiji Matsumoto, Keiji Nakazawa, Masamune Shiro, and Yukinobu Hoshino from many publishers, including Viz Media, Kodansha, Dark Horse Comics, and Stonebridge Press. I grew up on these translations, actually, and I remember mustering up the courage after I graduated from college in 1995 to call Studio Proteus. And I asked them for a job. I said I wanted to translate manga too. And you know what they said to me? They said, "Why should we hire you when we have Fred Schott?" I didn't have a good answer to that, other than, "You're right." And ended the call right there. It would take several more years for me to make my debut in the industry. Fred has also translated essays by some of Japan's leading anime directors and thought leaders, including Hayao Miyazaki and Yoshiyuki Tomino. He's also dug deep into Japanese history by spotlighting some of the pioneers of manga, including the 1931 work of the Japanese immigrant artist Henry Kiyama in the Four Immigrants manga. As a scholar of Japanese culture and history, Fred's written books about historical figures, the impact of technology on society, and even religion. For the last 10 years, he's also served on the executive committee of the Foreign Ministry's Japan International Manga Award. This contest attracts hundreds of entries from comics creators from around the world, many inspired by manga created in Japan. He's also received numerous manga-related awards in Japan and the United States, including Asahi Shimbun's Osamu Tezuka Culture Award, the Ministry of Foreign Affairs International Manga Award for helping to promote manga overseas. And then the big deal. In 2009, the Emperor of Japan granted him with the Order of the Rising Sun, gold rays with rosette, for helping promote Japanese popular culture in North America. In 2022, at the Cartoon Crossroads Columbus, Fred received the Tom Spurgeon Award, which recognizes the contributions of industry professionals whose support of cartoonists and cartoon art has enhanced the field in measurable and lasting ways. And tonight, we award him a new accolade. Please welcome the American Manga Awards' first Hall of Fame winner, Frederick Schott. Fred, this is your life. Good job.
That was the most amazing commercial I've ever seen. I honestly don't have anything prepared. I asked Matt, I said, what do you want me to say? And he said, well, say thanks, it's an honor. You can say a few words. Saying a few words to somebody who's a writer is a really dangerous thing. And Peter earlier said, I said, how many words? How long? And he said, maybe 4 or 5 minutes. And I'm relieved to say that after this commercial, what I might have launched into saying has been drastically shortened because you know everything about me. And I just wanted to start out and, first of all, thank my lovely wife, the lovely Fiammetta, who is here wearing her Astro Boy dress. And then I also wanted to say that it's really humbling to be here because I think tonight, I feel like maybe I personally know maybe half the people in the audience, and so many people I'm indebted to. So if it's a matter of thanking people, this could take forever. And I just want to go back and thank a few people in my life who've been very important to me. But really, I feel like I owe a lot to everyone here. And I think many of you probably know who I'm talking about because many of you I'm meeting right now, and I know you, and you've helped me in ways you probably don't realize. As Matt mentioned, I started reading comics when I was in manga in university in Japan around 1970. And it was interesting because at that time, manga were not the phenomenon they are in Japan today. University students were just starting to read them, and they were just sort of emerging from being something for children mainly. But of course, there are many genres in Japan of manga, but the manga that we think of as being manga today were mainly read by children. And they were gradually filtering into the university and factory worker communities, and they were a badge of pride for young people, sort of like rock and roll were in the United States. And when I was 20, and a Japanese friend of mine, Okada Shuichi, who became a JAL pilot later, but he said, Fred, you're really into manga, you got to read this. And he gave me copies of Tezuka Osamu's Phoenix, 4 or 5 volumes, which were all that were out at that time. And he gave them to me, and he said, in Japanese, he said, "Kanarazu kaishite ne." Almost like he said, make sure you give them back. Almost like he was handing me a copy of the Bible or the Koran or something like that, a sacred book. And that was my that was at the point where I really dreamed. I thought if there's some way I could introduce manga to the outside world, it would be great. But I didn't know how to do that. I didn't know how to start out. So I just read them. And then many years later, I was in Japan. Actually, I was working as a professional translator, doing government documents and everything. People knew that I was into manga. And even in that context, once I was able to translate most of the Rose of Versailles with a friend of mine, Jared Cook, and we did it in pencil on this is a very rough thing, just went through the whole thing and turned over the copies, and that was used in the creation of Lady Oscar, which was a movie made in Japan but shot in Versailles using British actors and then dubbed back into Japanese, I think, and it was using Hollywood screenwriters. I mean, it was quite an amazing thing. But I kept thinking, God, it would be somehow great to make people understand how wonderful manga are. And around 1977, as Matt mentioned, 3 friends of mine, one American, Jared Cook, and 2 Japanese, Sakamoto Shinji and Ueda Midori, we put together a group called Dadakai, and we thought, well, if we could translate some Japanese comics, and maybe it would be great, we could get people to read them and show people outside of Japan how wonderful they are. So we put together a list of candidate artists such as Matsumoto Reiji and also Tezuka Osamu, because we were fans of Tezuka Osamu. And we went to Tezuka Productions. We made an appointment to get permission to translate the Phoenix. And we made an appointment just to meet the president of Tezuka Productions, Matsutani, he was Tezuka's manager at that time. And we didn't realize we would meet Tezuka. And he gave us permission. So then we translated 5 volumes of the Phoenix into English. And we did it on paper. And we used whiteout. We had no idea what we were doing. We knew that to get Americans to read a manga, you'd have to flop it in those days. No one would read a manga left to right. I mean, a right to left. It had to be left to right. And I get confused here. But you have to understand that at that time, to the average American, the idea of reading anything from right to left was just totally unthinkable. So we didn't know what to do. So we whited out everything, and then we penciled it in, we inked it in, and we did 5 volumes, and then we gave it to Tezuka Productions, and it sat in the Tezuka Productions safe or in their archives for 25 years. Couldn't get it published, didn't know how to get it published, and eventually it was published around 2002 by Viz Media in San Francisco. But it took that long for it to see the light of day. So that's why Matt was alluding to this fact that I came to the conclusion that it was too early for people to read Japanese manga, and there needed to be a book about them. And that's how I wound up writing Manga. And as Matt alluded to, there was this sort of discussion with my editor, Peter Goodman, to whom I'm very indebted. He worked, or eventually worked for Kodansha, which is one of the top publishers of manga in Japan, and Kodansha International. And then later on, he went and formed his own company, Stonebridge, which I'm very indebted to as well. But we had this discussion of what the title should be, and as Matt mentioned, manga, I was against using it. The original title of the book was Japanese Comics and New Visual Culture, about as boring as you can imagine. And I said, manga, that won't work in the title because people think it's like manganese. It'll be filed in library catalogs, the cardboard catalogs next to manganese, or they'll think it's an Italian word for eating, for manja. Luckily, Peter won out on that, but it shows you how different the times were. And then for the back part of the book, I had 4 excerpts from Japanese manga that the artist very graciously allowed me to translate, and then also to flop, so they could be read from left to right instead of right to left. So I had to teach myself lettering, and I know there's a lettering award tonight. Congratulations, everybody. I was really proud of my lettering and all the retouching I did and all the sound effects and everything. And then I got a fan letter from someone later, and he said, I really liked your book, but you know what, the lettering in those 4 sequences, it really sucks. So anyway, I could go on and on and on and on. I have a lot of people to thank in my life, and a lot of people have helped me. Innumerable, too many to thank tonight, and many of you are here tonight, actually. So I will try and cut it short, but it's a lot of people to thank. So anyway, thank you so much.
If you'll be at Anime NYC, please join us on Saturday, August 24th at 1:30 p.m. for our spotlight panel with myself and Fred in conversation about manga translation, and several of his books, followed by an autograph session at the Kinokuniya booth at Anime New York City. I'll be joined by Hiroko as well. You can get her book signed too. If you can't make it to Anime NYC, good news, you can join us on Friday, August 23rd at 6 p.m. for a special talk autograph session at Kinokuniya in Midtown, near Bryant Park. It's free and it's open to the public, so please join us and tell your friends, because it's quite a lineup, if I do say so myself. With this, the first American Manga Awards, we have only 7 total categories tonight. And it's the committee's goal for this awards program to continue to grow. So please, all of you, after the event, let us know your thoughts, your ideas, your advice for new categories and how we can best continue to make this a night for and by the manga publishing industry in North America. We have only 3 awards left for tonight, all 3 celebrating the best manga of 2024. The next awards are the best new edition of classic manga and continuing manga series. To announce the nominees and winners, we're honored to welcome Deb Aoki and Renee Scott. Yeah. Deb probably needs little introduction to many of you in this room, but she's known to write about manga, for comic only manga, nothing else. No, she writes about many things for Comics Beat and Publishers Weekly, and is one of the hosts of the weekly podcast Manga-splaining, which also includes co-host Chip Zdarsky, Christopher Butcher, and David Brothers. Deb is also a comics creator in her own right, and is the main architect of the American Manga Awards. Renee is a young adult librarian based in New York City. She works as a blogger and a reviewer for Good Comics for Kids, a blog affiliated with School Library Journal. She also serves as a member of the board of directors of Manga in Libraries. She's a lifelong fan of comics, anime, and manga. So please join me in welcoming Deb and Renee.
All right, let's bring it down here for the short people. All right, let's see. The nominees for the next 3 manga categories, Best New Manga, Best Continuing Manga Series, and Best New Edition of Classic Manga, were selected by 5 nominating judges: Bridget Alverson, Renee Scott, Lindsay Loveridge, Minovsky, and Shannon Garrity.
All right, now I'm taller. All right, Bridget, Shannon, and Minovsky couldn't be with us in New York City tonight, but wanted to share a few words with us. And one of the best people I know, and I'm not saying that because she's one of my bosses. Bridget Alverson writes about comics, graphic novels, and manga for Publishers Weekly, School Library Journal, and ICV2, where she is also a contributing editor. She is the editor of the Good Comics for Kids blog at School Library Journal and part of the editorial team at Smash Pages. In her words, we had a good pool to draw from, and reading so many in such a short time made me feel more optimistic about the medium as a whole.
All right. Also couldn't be here tonight is Shannon Garrity. Shannon is a cartoonist and the co-creator of Narbonic. She reviews manga for Publishers Weekly and Otaku USA magazine. She has worked as a freelance manga editor and localizer for over 20 years. She's also one of the funniest people I know. I'm really sorry she's not here. You would have loved to have heard her speech. This is Shannon's comments. Thanks to judging this award, I got to catch up on some excellent manga and discovered that some titles get better as they go.
Minovsky is a lifelong manga fan and advocate. He's driven by a curiosity to discover new and classic material and enthusiastically share what makes these works so special, mostly via his I Refuse to Call It X Twitter account at Minovsky article. The submissions pool was deep and contained many surprises. I discovered several titles that were completely new to me through the judging process and that I plan to continue reading long after this competition is over. The future of manga is bright.
I know you're all disappointed to not see Minovsky here today. I am too. All right, on to the awards. I'm giving out the award for the best new edition of classic manga. Some people have asked me, what makes it classic? It's very simple. It had to be something that was published originally in Japan 20 years ago, so before 2004. Yeah, I know, hard to believe that was 20 years ago. Okay, so it's kind of interesting, right? Because we just talked about Fred's book and manga, and I'm one of the people that this book changed my life. I mean, I've read it over and over and over again. And one of the most frustrating things about this book is that you would see, panels or pages from manga that you would get really intrigued, like, wow, that's amazing. But you couldn't read it in English. And shamefully, a lot of the manga that Fred picked as being influential, being special, still aren't available in English today. And that's a damn shame. But that is changing, thankfully. And there's more of it coming. There's still a lot of catch-up to go, but this category is here to honor these classic works, many of which have influenced manga creators today, as well as will influence many manga readers for years to come. I encourage you all, when these classics come out, please buy the heck out of them. Buy lots of them, so we can get more of them, so maybe someday I can read this book and go, I can read all of these books in English. All right, now on to the nominees. The nominees for Best New Edition of Classic Manga are Minami's Lover by Shinjiku Uchida, published by Fantagraphics, editor Christy Valenti, translator H. Page, production by Si Huang and Paul Baresh. Don't snooze on this one, by the way. It looks really cute, but it's really twisted. My Name is Shingo by Kazuo Mez, published by Viz Media, editor Joel Enos, translator Jocelyn Allen, adaptation by Molly Tanzer, and lettering by Evan Waldinger. Neighborhood Story by Ayazawa, published by Viz Media, editor Carla Clark, translator Andrea McKnight, touch-up and lettering by Michelle Pang. Okinawa by Susumu Higa, published by MSX, Manga-Splaining Extra, and Fantagraphics. I promise I had nothing to do with this, getting nominated. Editors Andrew Woodrow Butcher and Christopher Woodrow Butcher, translator Jocelyn Allen, and lettering by Patrick Crotty and Kayla E. And UFO Mushroom Invasion by Marina Shirakawa, published by Living the Line Smudge. Editor and translator Ryan Holmberg, lettering by Ozzy Von Eschen with Sean Michael Robinson. I'll have you know that I made all of these. My little glue stick, my little laser printer, I made all of these. Yeah, you tell that to, like, Harvey Awards, call me if you want some classy looking envelopes. And the winner is, let's see, Neighborhood Story by Ayazawa. All right, who's coming up to accept this one? Congratulations.
Thank you. Hi again. Yazuwa Sensei couldn't be here tonight, so I'm accepting this award on her behalf. She did send this message to share, though. 30 years ago, I never imagined that Neighborhood Story, which I created at a cramped desk often occupied by my cats, would one day cross the vast ocean and reach so many people. This is all thanks to the support and dedication of everyone involved over the years. I truly appreciate it. Thank you so much. Thank you.
Okay. All right. Good evening. So, my name is Renee Scott. I have to reintroduce yourself. I am one of the judges who read all of the manga that was submitted for this wonderful event, and I'll be presenting the award for the Best Continuing Manga Series tonight. From enjoying food and camaraderie, to learning about your favorite dinosaur, or experiencing the most extreme cases of body snatching and helicopter parenting you would ever see, if you know, you know. These titles stuck out and kept us wondering what's going to happen next. And the nominees for the American Manga Award for Best Continuing Manga are Blood on the Tracks by Shuzo Ushimi, by Kodansha and Vertical, edited by Daniel Joseph, translated by Daniel Coleman and the production team of Risa Cho, Pei An Yip, and Evan Hayden. All right. Delicious in Dungeon by Ryoko Kui, brought to you by Yen Press, edited by Abigail Blackman and Thomas McAllister, translated by Taylor Engel, and lettering by Abigail Blackman. All right. Dinosaur Sanctuary by Itaru Kinoshita, brought to you by Seven Seas Entertainment, edited by Linda Lombardi, translation by John Neal, and lettering by J.M. Itomi Crandall. She Loves to Cook, She Loves to Eat by Sakami Yuzaki, brought to you by Yen Press. Edited by Wan Young-seo, Carly, and Shalini Arimili. Translated by Caleb Cook and lettering by Phil Christie. And last but definitely not least, The Summer Hikaru Died by Moku Mokoren, brought to you by Yen Press. Edited by Fortune Soleil, Ju-Yoon Lee, Abigail Blackman. Translated by Ajani Olole, please forgive me if I butcher it, and lettering by Abigail Blackman. And the winner of Best Continuing Manga Series is Delicious in Dungeon.
Thank you very much, everybody. I'm Mark, the Sales and Marketing Director at Yen Press. Ryoko Kui wasn't able to join us, so I am joined by Thomas McAllister, the editor of Delicious in Dungeon, or at least the latest editor of Delicious in Dungeon, Yen Press edition. So Delicious in Dungeon is a manga series that's very close to the hearts of us at Yen Press. Oh, I'll share it in a moment. Sorry, I just want to give some thoughts on Delicious in Dungeon and us getting the best, or Delicious in Dungeon getting best continuing manga series. So, yeah, like I mentioned, it's a series that's been very close to our hearts at Yen Press. If any of you visit the Yen Press offices, you'll see Ryoko Kui's amazing artwork from Delicious in Dungeon on our walls. And if you're wondering which room it's in, it's of course in the kitchen. So many people have learned about Delicious in Dungeon this year. It's been a very big year for Delicious in Dungeon, a year in which it's become our best-selling manga series, and even more importantly, a series that's touched the hearts of many readers. But Delicious in Dungeon is a series that we've been publishing for 7 years, close to a decade. And if you didn't know that, don't feel bad. Just today we had some business partners visit the office, business partners who work in manga retail and didn't realize that we'd been publishing Delicious in Dungeon for so long. And they asked the question, did you know that it would become this big of a deal? And that was a tough question to answer. Because, looking back 7 years ago, 8 years ago, before Delicious in Dungeon was published and released in English, this was a time in which you didn't have many series like Delicious in Dungeon. It's something we could take for granted now. There weren't really that many fantasy spin-offs. There weren't series like this. It wasn't like now where everybody's playing Dungeons and Dragons. It was a different time. But anybody who read Delicious in Dungeon could see how fresh it was, how interesting it was. And as you get on with the series, how touching and epic it is, and how amazing Ryoko Kui's illustrations are. And as I say this, you might be wondering, well, Mark, why isn't that an obvious recipe for a manga success? And that's because for those of us who worked in this industry for a long time, or forget working in the industry, if you've been a manga fan for a long time, you've come across some very exceptional series where you know that people would love it if they read it, where you have the faith that it could touch the hearts of many people out there. But for one reason or another, a lot of these manga series don't find their day, which is why it's with great satisfaction that I can say that Delicious in Dungeon has found its day, especially this year. It's had a wonderful anime adaptation. Thomas and I were privileged to join Ryoko Kui for her visit to Anime Expo and see firsthand these fans who are touched to meet Kui-sensei herself. And we're rounding off this amazing year of Delicious in Dungeon with an official award, Best Continuing Manga Series. So before we step down, I'd like Thomas to step here and give a few thoughts on editing Delicious in Dungeon. Thomas?
I'd just like to thank Ryoko Kui, of course, for making such a wonderful, rich world with such lovely characters. Every day I got to work on it was a joy. I have to thank Taylor Engel, our translator, and Abigail Blackman, of course, who did both the lettering and the first editorial pass. She did 90% of the work on this. I also have to thank my boss for giving me the chance to work on this. Thank you, Ji-yoon. When you asked at the meeting who here likes to eat, I did not know what I was getting into. And I have to thank all of you for helping us get here today. Thank you.
I'd like to thank the American Manga Awards Committee for one, the honor of the award, but two, creating this award to begin with. I remember a meeting with Anime NYC at last year's Anime Expo, back when this award was simply the dream in the hearts and minds of Lance Heiskell and MK Godwin. And listening to the words of many who've spoken here today, it sounds like this was the dream for many of you, so thank you for making this dream come true. And of course, I'd like to thank Kui Sensei herself for being her, for bringing this wonderful work of Delicious in Dungeon to the world to touch the hearts of millions of readers around the world, and for giving us at Yen Press the honor of publishing this amazing series in English. Thank you very much. Before I depart, we have a statement from Kui Sensei herself from Japan. Thank you all very much. It is such an honor to receive an American Manga Award in its inaugural ceremony. I hope that this award will help connect more fans and readers to the world of manga in the future. Thank you very much.
Well, this is it. We've reached our last award of the evening. After this award is given, I'd like to invite all of our winners backstage for some photo opportunities. And after that, I'd like to invite all of you to the Anime NYC Industry Party, which will take place right here at Japan Society, together with the very first night of Aki Bright's gallery show on the Japan Society's second floor. To bring the first American Manga Awards to a close, I am very happy to welcome Lindsay Loveridge. She is Anime News Network's executive editor, come on up, and the ANN After Show podcast host. Lindsay joined Anime News Network over a decade ago and has been an avid manga reader long before then. She tracks trends with critics and readers and oversees all of Anime News Network's anime and manga editorial content. And she's taking the night off to be with us here. Please, a round of applause for Lindsay.
Good evening, everyone. I'm Lindsay Loveridge, the executive editor at Anime News Network, and I'm honored to be a judge for the American Manga Awards. Tonight, I have the exciting opportunity to present the award for Best New Manga. The Best New Manga category was full of amazing stories and serial artwork, making it an especially difficult category for our team to whittle down. All of the judges come from a variety of professional backgrounds and genre preferences, leading to a robust selection of story types in our final nominees. The selected manga run the gamut of genre and style, from the emotional journey of a non-binary teenager to the gothic stylizations of one of horror's most iconic monsters. And these are the nominees for the Best New Manga. The Darwin Incident by Shun Umezawa, published by Kodansha, editor Daniel Joseph, translator Kat Anderson, and production by Grace Liu, Pei An Yip, and Eve Grant. DRCL Midnight Children by Shinichi Sakamoto, based on Bram Stoker's Dracula. Published by Viz Media, the editor is Andrew Curry Bartosh, translator is Caleb Cook, and lettering and touch-up by Brendan Hull. Just Like Mona Lisa by Sumuji Yoshimura, published by Square Enix Manga and Books, edited by Jennifer Sherman, translated by Leo McDonough, and lettering by Asher Caswell. Mothers by Kusahara Umi, published by Glacier Bay Books, edited by Emma Rue, translated by Jocelyn Allen, and lettering by Tim Soon. Sora and the House of Monsters by Hiranori Yamaji, published by Seven Seas Entertainment, edited by Shanti Whitesides, translated by Ben Trethaway, and lettered by Mercedes McGarry. And the winner is DRCL Midnight Children by Shinichi Sakamoto, based on Bram Stoker's Dracula and published by Viz Media. It's you again.
It's me again. Thank you. Hi. Yeah, Sakamoto-sensei also couldn't be here, so me again. But he did send a message. I'm deeply grateful for the recognition of the challenge I took on as an Asian writer to portray Dracula, one of the most famous monsters in the Western world, in my own way through manga, while attempting to stay true to the original intent of the novel. This award motivates me to further strive toward creating a visual blend of beauty and terror. Thank you very much. Thank you.
Excellent. Wow, so many envelopes littering my desktop here. What a night it has been. And with this, the inaugural American Manga Awards draws to a close. As mentioned earlier, we're going to be sharing video of the evening later on Anime NYC's YouTube channel and its associated social media accounts. I'd again like to congratulate all of the nominees and winners, and thank you to all of our judges, the awards committee, and everyone at Japan Society and Anime NYC for making tonight possible. And tonight's event would not have been possible without our generous sponsors, Hoopla, Saturday AM, Scholastic, and Viz, and our reception sponsors, Sapporo Stone Brewing and Brooklyn Kura. Manga is a booming business, a first step to discovering Japan, and an art form beloved around the world. And this is all possible thanks to the people who create, edit, translate, letter, design, and promote the manga that you get at your local bookstore, at your comic shop, your library, or your favorite app. Now, I know we're all eager to get to the beverages that the sponsors are providing, but I want to share one quick little story. Several years ago, I was hired to speak to a bunch of Japanese high school students at a school in rural Japan who were going as a class to study abroad in the United States, many different places. And while they were excited, they also had a lot of apprehension. They were very nervous. And I got a question from the audience: how can we make friends with people who we meet in America, and especially with other high school students? And I told them, well, it's simple. Tell them you like manga. And you could see this quizzical look on their face. And I was like, no, I'm serious. Tell them you like Naruto. Tell them you like One Piece. Tell them you like some manga they've never heard of. I guarantee you that they're going to want to hear about it. And you could just see the apprehension drain from their face and be replaced by excitement, that they had something to share. This is what all of you are doing. These are the kind of bridges you are building. So never let anybody tell you that you're just working on comic books or manga or entertainment. You are literally, quite literally, helping peace blossom in this world. So thank you to everyone in the audience for all of your efforts every single day to make manga accessible and enjoyable for English readers all over the world. Thank you for the long hours, late nights talking to Japan, and impossible deadlines. We all know about those. What you do is important, and I hope this is one small step toward recognizing your contributions, all of them, to making manga the global sensation that it is today. Now, before I go, I want to invite all of our winners to the stage to take a photo together, so come on up. Come on up. All winners. We're all winners, but I just mean the winners of tonight. And careful, don't trip with those heavy awards. Center stage. No, 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 no. Center stage for you people. Out of the shadows, into the spotlight. What's that? Afterwards? You want to do afterwards? Say manga. Suitable for framing. Excellent, thank you. Good job. Good job, all of you. Really, just spectacular stuff. And can I also have all the nominees come up? You get your moment in the spotlight, too. All the nominees, come on up. Come on up. You deserve it, too. Don't be embarrassed. Don't be shy. Are you only two nominees? Okay, well, hey, it's all good. No, there's many nominees here. Look at this.
Find the stairs.
Find the stairs. Come on up. Come on up. Good stuff. Oh, sure. Yeah. All right. Yes. Excellent. Because when it comes to manga and translation, everyone's a winner. Thank you. Thanks for coming up. Now come on down. Excellent. Good stuff. Great stuff, people. And that is it. That concludes the first ever American Manga Awards. Thank you all. Enjoy the reception and Aki Bright's exhibition. And we hope to see you next year. Same time, same stage. Let's do it again. Thank you so much for coming. Excellent. Great stuff.
Let's give a big hand for Matt Auld. He killed it tonight, eh?